What's the most NSFW thing you've witnessed in public? Midday. A fight between two gentlemen spilled out of a Tim Hortons. Your average cursing. Fist throwing. Then, all of a sudden, one of the guys pulls out a pen and stabs the other in the eye multiple times. Gory as duck. The pen is mightier than the sword. I work at an outdoor public pool in the summer, and 2 summers ago I had to ask 2 dudes to stop having oral sex in the pool during family swim. 200 plus people were there. The worst I'd ever had to do was ask a man to stop motorboating his wife on the side of the pool. In the pub I used to run, saw a woman straddle a man and vigorously grind all over him, with a 70-plus-year-old gentleman sat 10 feet away rubbing himself over it. I was in town with my dad when I was about 9 years old. We were going about our business. It was treat night. Suddenly, a man and a woman, completely naked, streaked down the street right by us, followed by police officers. I didn't know what to think. It's a fond memory. Insert classic comedic chase music. Edit. I've been informed this is called Yakety Sax, and it's the Benny Hill theme song. There is a local prostitute that everyone in my coffee shop / many in the neighborhood knew by name. She was very kind when she wasn't hopped up on drugs, which was extremely rare. She had a very rough life. One winter night, she came in with her skirt hiked up to high heaven and not wearing any underwear. She stood in front of the window and just started dancing. I went up to her and told her she needed to leave if she was going to do that, or she could sit down and have a coffee. She replied with, "How else will I find a husband?" Apostrophe. That last part is saddening. I was in a bus station in the UK waiting for the last bus home. An overweight lady with Downs got fingered by a homeless dude, like right in front of me. I felt sick. That was nice of him to not treat her differently for having Down syndrome. A girl getting fisted while sat on a bus stool. Wasn't even that late. Maybe around 9 PM, so the bar was just filling up, and most people were closer to sober than drunk. I have so many questions. Yeah. How high was the bar stool? Was the fisted legs akimbo or more subtle? Was the fisty also seated, or was he/she standing? I heard moaning sounds coming from the crypt below the chapel floor, where I was about to practice the organ for a funeral later that day. When I turned the organ blower on in the crypt for the instrument above, a couple emerged, obviously caught red-handed for having used the quiet space for purposes other than burying bones. Sounds like you weren't the first person to practice the organ that day. Old woman shuffled into my shoe department stockroom, hoisted her skirt, and proceeded to spray diarrhea all over the cement floor and the shoe boxes on the bottom shelves in her vicinity. Coworker then proceeded to vomit. Needless to say, it was not safe to work until a housekeeping team cleaned up and loss prevention salvaged out a few $100s worth of shoes. I used to work at a strip club, but honestly it was kind of more like a brothel. We had private lap dance rooms with no visibility, so obviously people were doing things they shouldn't fairly regularly. One time a guy got a dance with 2 girls. He goes up with them to a private room. A few minutes later he runs out covered in shit and vomit, and both girls run out half undressed and run to the dressing room. Apparently he decided to finger one of the girls in the ass, and she shit everywhere. The other girl got some on her and then threw up all over the place. I never saw any of those people again. Edit. Glad to see my suffering has earned me gold. I named the club in the comments. Enjoy. Tip your strippers well. And don't engage in spontaneous anal. Gross. Where was this club? So I know to avoid it. I too would like to know this. And how much money to not bring. Streets of New York. Around 3 PM or so, a drunk couple were walking down the street. Calling their travel walking is even a stretch. They were pulling themselves down a fence, which made it look like there was some strange force pulling them backwards. Anyways, the lady faceplants on the sidewalk and rises to her knees. She starts blowing this dude all the while blood is straight pouring out of her face. I ran inside to grab someone to witness the show, and when I got back they were gone. Bloke getting his brains shot out by some other bloke. For them, it was probably part of the job, some underworld criminal thing, but it wasn't something suitable for my work. Nope. Excuse me sir, would you not blow people's brains out inside the store? It's against company policy. Oh god. I'm so sorry. Please don't. Ask me to leave. A man masturbating in a park. Hiding behind trees. Looking at kids playing. I was quite young and sex was taboo. Wish I were older, so I had the balls to report. Witnessed a woman giving some dude a BJ in a parked car one morning while I was riding the bus to school. Bus was stopped in traffic and I just happened to look down at the parked car next to us. There she was just going to town. She happened to look up as the bus was pulling off. We made eye contact. She had a guilty look on her face. Edit. Spelling. A heavily pregnant woman getting spit roasted in the middle of a park. Just in case. Spit roasting. One guy in the mouth. One guy in the vag/butt. We also rolled accepted Eiffel Tower. That's only when the guys put their hands together. While riding my bike home from school, I rounded a corner to see two other students going at it in the middle of the bike trail. Like, there was a whole forest. But nah, this busy bike trail will work. Parking lot of a Denny's. Homeless woman pulled down her pants and began cleaning her snatch with wet wipes she'd stolen from a KFC. I'll always remember the look on the faces of the family in the minivan with Ontario plates. They'll never forget that vacation. How did you get close enough to figure out the wet wipes were from KFC? Asking the important questions. Homeless man by an off license down the road from Marble Arch Station, London. He throws up into his palms, looks around and swallows it back up. That was when I lost what appetite I had in the quarter pounder McDonald's burger and gave it to him. And that day he had 2 hot meals equals win. I was standing in a club in Prague. To my right, the entire hostel group I was with had their pants down around their ankles. To my left, a guy was finger banging a girl. In front of me, a guy dancing on the couch. The biggest Eastern European bouncer I'd ever seen walks over, and I'm thinking, oh shit, these fingerbangers are in trouble. Or maybe the hostel guys. Nope. Dude walks up to the guy on the couch. No dance on couch. There is a dude fingerblasting a girl less than 18 away from him. There are 20 pantsless individuals 2 feet to his right. Prague is awesome. Stay off the furniture. That's my favorite combination of 2 odd sentences I've read all day. Prague is awesome. Stay off the furniture. Apostrophe. A homeless man sleeping in the alcove of a building in Berlin. Without trousers on and with wasps feeding out of open wounds all up his leg. Shudders. Edit. Grammar. Probably eating the maggots. Just saying. Couple of years ago I took my first girlfriend on her very first camping trip in a local national park. After walking about 20 minutes from the car park we took a little break at a clearing with picnic tables, accompanied by a couple of families with small children. Minutes later, a legion of 7 to 8 bare-breasted women dressed in vaguely elvish loincloths and fake ears arrived at the spot. With them were a couple of guys with cameras and lighting equipment. What followed can be best described as an elf bondage porn photoshoot spectated by us, small children and their horrified parents. 5/5. Got to see elf boobas and GF was totally into it. TL. Dr. Elf porn in the woods and some very confused children. 2 very conservative Christian lady friends of mine decided to visit New Orleans back in 2004. Great people, but very naive. They saw some dude riding a bicycle whilst jerking his well-endowed member. Main road. Not hiding anything. Sounded like a normal day in New Orleans when they told me that story. Walking home from a bar, I got to watch a guy and a girl ducking in front of the public library. They were using a no-frills plastic grocery bag as a condom. Dude was holding the hand cutouts while going at it. I'll never unsee that yellow grocery bag moving around like that. Even the words on the bag that said the no frills motto won't be beat. I laughed out loud as I walked by, but I think I got a bit scarred from that. I also bet a pregnancy occurred. Sometimes there's so much beauty in the world, I feel like I can't take it, even with the plastic bag reference. This is why Reddit exists. I witnessed a guy finger a girl on the dancer floor of a nightclub. It was weird. Pointed it out to my friends. Then we got McDonald's. I'm a bouncer and this last weekend I saw a couple out by the smoking section in a corner making out and having some fun. She was jerking him off, pants open but hand and goodies still in underwear. As I approached and said alright guys take it home, She vigorously tries to finish him off in the few last seconds they had left. Didn't finish, zipped up and left. But I thought, what a kind girl she must be. Even after cover's blown, she knows what the goal is. Mama ain't raised no quitter. I, working as a security guard years ago, had an awkward experience. I was doing my patrol in a Verizon utility vehicle lot next to a downtown area. There was an event going on near the lot, so the street was packed with cars. There was a car that recently drove on the premises, and since it's a private property area, I had to tell them to vacate the area. As I walked slowly to the car, I saw a man with his eyes closed and his head reclining on the driver's seat. I thought the guy was trying to get some rest. As I walked right next to the vehicle, I took out my flashlight and lightly tapped the window to wake the man. At that moment I peered down and saw a moving clump of hair moving up and down from the man's crotch. Not a second later, the man opened his eyes and stared in fear as I looked at him with a stare of awkwardness. I did what any self-respecting guy would do at that moment. I turned around, gave the dude a thumbs up, and walked away. Got to my post and sat there for a couple minutes, laughing my ass off so hard. A few minutes later, the same car drove right next to the post and the guy rolled down his window and gave me a thumbs up sign. At that moment I've never felt like a true bro. What makes this is the dude dropping by to return the thumbs up. High five, good work bro. Just today, went to take a smoke in an alley. Walked into a couple having sex. Never witnessed that before. I was more of the one creating the NSFW thing in public. Throwaway for reasons. I was day drinking at my local Buffalo Wild Wings and I became way too drunk to be there. I was not kicked out for some reason. I found a woman who was just as drunk as I was. After a few drinks I convince her for a hand job. She just starts jerking me off at the bar top. I wasn't embarrassed, but drunk and proud. People noticed. Everyone noticed. We didn't stop. The bartender told us to get out because, you know, who wants to watch a drunk girl jerk off a drunk guy at 1:15 p.m. while trying to enjoy chicken wings? No one, that's who. I joined the military and have never gone back to the Buffalo Wild Wings. I wouldn't want to be recognized. My friend and I bought a pizza and decided to go eat it on the local beach while watching the sunset. Some girl getting a photo shoot done in a bikini decided that the ambience was just right to make the photo shoot a naked one. My friend threw a piece of pizza crust towards the girl and she got swarmed by seagulls. Edit. Wow. Replies went interesting ways. My friend and I are both straight females in our late teens at the time, and this happened on a Tuesday evening around 5:30 p.m. on a public, very visible beach. Couldn't really have given a rat's ass about nudity, but she started at the other end of the beach and moved towards us, not the other way. My friend basically made a snap decision, and it was ducking funny. It wasn't some odd thing either. She looked like she was shooting for Ralph. Nothing wrong with that either. But as someone with a labia, I'd be avoiding trying to jam sand in there. I'm Australian and we would describe her as 100% boggan. Also, thank you for the gold, kind stranger. May seagulls never bother you. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.